How does a car stay in production for 17 model years without any major changes?
Buckle your seatbelts because we are going back in time.
The Mercedes-Benz SL class, or SL Roadster, has existed in some form or another since 1954. This 1980 450 SL comes from the third generation, which began production in April of 1971 and lasted until August of '89. Amazingly, its appearance hardly changed over that time, a testament to the car's masterful styling. It looks years ahead of other early 70s designs, yet not too out of place compared to cars from the late 80s. Non-US models with flush-mounted headlamps look even better. Blame the government for mandating sealed beam lights. For its diminutive size, the SL still manages to look substantial. It's straight and flat without looking angular, and gives the overall appearance of solidity. The SL is distinct without being conspicuous, perhaps the key to its long life. That theme of solidity continues with a well-organized interior. I found the seats comfortable, and the general material quality impressed me. Some of the plastics haven't aged well, but the fit and finish still exceeds the average for the era. The automatic climate control looks a little confusing and apparently had some reliability issues, but Mercedes eventually sorted it out. Thankfully, the fantastic weather made this a non-issue as I spent my time driving with the top down. On a mix of suburban and country roads, the wind noise was minor, but highway speeds would obviously change that. Visibility is, of course, stellar, and unlike some roadsters, you don't feel dangerously small next to other cars. And even though the oversized steering wheel looks like something from a sailboat, the ride is not boat-like in the least. It doesn't heave over bumps or roll around curves. The handling is solid, but, just like the styling, it's been smoothed over some. The SL is clearly designed to be a grand tourer, and that's not just a euphemism for a poor-handling sports car. It legitimately strikes a balance between comfort and performance, instead of choosing one at the expense of the other. Power delivery is smooth as well.
The engine in this car reminds me of an old but loyal butler. It's not exactly in a hurry, but whatever you ask of it, it eagerly does.
That butler under the hood is a 4.5-liter V8 with Bosch mechanical fuel injection. It generates 222 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque. 1980 was the last year for this engine in the SL, as an aluminum 3.8-liter V8 replaced it, and the car was fittingly renamed the 380 SL. Power gets to the road through a 3-speed automatic. It shifts smoothly, but feels a little sluggish. The transmission seems to slightly blunt the engine's response, but if you bury the pedal, the car hustles with ease. With the new engine would come a new 4-speed automatic as well. US market cars sadly never offered a manual. Nevertheless, I found the 450 SL a complete and competent roadster that provides satisfying performance given its age. My biggest complaint stems from the price. This car originally stickered for around $35,000, equal to about $100,000 today. With that kind of exclusivity, it's no wonder Mercedes left the design unchanged. And exclusivity is precisely what makes this car so appealing. Sure, with that kind of money, you could have bought 2 LeBaron convertibles, but I don't think Mercedes ever worried about that. Yes, by today's standards, the SL seems somewhat underwhelming and overpriced, but remember what the rest of the car market was like. This car had fuel injection and 4-wheel disc brakes back in 1972, and by 1977, none of the big 3 even offered a convertible. And when they finally did again, they certainly didn't intend to compete with the SL. Even when Cadillac did try to dethrone it, they were unsuccessful. The SL simply exists in a class of its own, and its price helped ensure that. But as they say, good things come to those who wait. 35 years later, you can buy an SL Roadster for under 20 grand, even 10 grand if you're lucky. And yes, you could buy multiple used LeBarons for that money, but that's not the point. In a business as precarious as cars, few products can last 5 model years, let alone 17. Yet even now, the SL continues to age gracefully, solidifying a design that was destined to become classic, or perhaps even timeless. If you enjoyed this video, why not watch another one? And stay up to date by subscribing to our channel and following us on Facebook. As always, if you have a cool car you'd like to see in a video, send us an email.
This is the perfect car for proms, weddings, or any other event that requires a parade. There's no back seat, so you don't have to worry about footprints on your upholstery, but there is a very sturdy convertible cover and enough room for whoever your local celebrity in the back is. Reminds me of that one time I almost became homecoming king by accident. But I'll save that story for later.
What's up, Throttle? Have you ever wanted to take a ride in a 1976 Mercedes-Benz 450 SL? Then keep on watching, because today you're in for a ride. Hi, I'm Nadine, the co-founder of the Throttle app, and today I'm with my friend Norman in Missouri. Hi, Norman.
Hi, Nadine. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, thanks.
Good.
What are you going to show us today?
Well, I have a 1976 Mercedes-Benz 450 SL. This is a two-door luxury sports car.
Very nice. And I can see you've got the hat to match. Yes. Very nice. Okay, so looking at this car, if we were to take a bit of a walk around of it, one of the things that I've noticed is I don't think it's a 1976.
Mercedes used this essential styling for a long time, into the 1990s, maybe even later than that. It was a beautiful design. It started with 190 SL, went through 280 SL, and yes, there were changes, but the basic styling was very much the same.
So what are some of the main differences then from this 1976 to one of the modern cars? Is it just maybe the amount of trunk space that we have, the amount of space in the back seat for a Roadster?
There would be improvements in the electronics. The air conditioning would work better. The power steering might give you a little more road feel than this does. The suspension, the steering, the power of the car, the transmission, all of them were really good, and they kept a lot of that going for a long time. There is a hardtop in the barn, which we've had on the car one time since we bought it 25 years ago.
Okay.
There's a soft top in here that we've had on perhaps 5 times.
Okay.
I just love riding the car with the top off.
How often do you have to maintain this? I mean, it's German engineering. Obviously, if they've kept the body very similar, the engineering of it must be still as good from the 70s.
It was very good engineering. Just like with all cars, there is maintenance needed. The same maintenance you would do on a new car. The suspension, yeah, those things wear out, and it's one of the important things to do to get it up on a lift to see what needs to be done underneath the car. This car is a pleasure to drive. I love to drive it with the top off.
Okay, well, I keep hearing it's fun to drive, so I think it's time that we go in there and
I think that's a good idea. Why don't we do that?
Sounds good. Thank you. Hop in. Wow! I notice we have yet another plaque here. We've got the 1976 Mercedes-Benz, and it's called Angie. Why did you name this car Angie?
The Angie name came from Angela Reynolds Bixby. Margaret worked for Kansas City Life Insurance Company, and Angela Reynolds Bixby was the power behind the throne. The front of Kansas City Life has 2 lionesses, not lions, lionesses, and those were put there by Angela Reynolds Bixby. Angie being roughly the same color as a lioness, that's what the car became.
Very good. Well, let's head out then. Let's stretch the legs of this lioness. love going for a drive in this cute roadster. Thanks so much for taking me, Norman. And how do people keep in touch with you?
Well, if you like what you saw in the video, like or share the video. If you have any questions about the Mercedes 450 SL, and would like to make any comments, just leave a comment below.
If you want to follow Norman, his car, and others like it, then download the Throttle app for iOS or Android. And if you want to follow us for daily posts, you can always join us on Instagram or Facebook at Throttle. And please subscribe to our videos and hit the bell so you get notified whenever we have new content. So thanks for watching, and join us next time as Throttle's driving connections and fueling experiences. Time to go.
Okay.